자, 오늘도 오늘 양수역 앞에를 걷고 왔는데 늦게 갔다가 늦게 와서 배고플 때 점심 좀 먹고 또 저 무제한 읽는 시간입니다. 이게 제 공부의 제일 하이라이트이기 때문에 요거를 하면 저는 살아있는 겁니다. 이걸 안 하면 끝장난 거야. Now discover your strengths. They have too little futuristic talent. Each of these strategies, get a little better at it, design a support system. Use one of your strongest themes to overwhelm your weakness. Find a partner, and just stop doing it can help you as you strive to build your life around your strengths. The new brand you, your new image make the sale for you. Luck has little to do with it, but the people who aren't willing to get uncomfortable, stand up to criticism, and work hard will never know that. In fact, pause for a minute right now and think about a couple of stories you already have stored away in your mind and some potential business lessons that could come from them. The new climate war. The commentary, in short, challenged Wallace Wells' basic thesis. The zigzag principle. He is now middle-aged and he is burned out. It was upsetting. It was upsetting and intimidating. If you doubt, you are out. The multi-hyphen method. Author and writer C says, I get the vibe of people that I'm sort of a grappling millennial upstart, jack of all trades, it because I'm not really good enough to do one thing well. A toolkit for working women. Doing this will also force you to get clear on exactly what it is you want out of the interaction. The point is, don't fear getting dirty in your local sandbox. Open the gate to the Ivy League, a plan B for getting into the top college. You will select your electives from the regular undergraduate offerings of schools of arts and sciences, commerce, and engineering. Future trends. The perception that geopolitics are getting ever shakier is borne out by hard numbers. our pleasure of the works. When daydreaming, we produce private movies in our heads in which we are the stars, with limitless budget, a free hand in casting, great special effects, and no censors. How we learn, being mixed up, interleaving as an aid to comprehension. Do another 200 and you will see more still. In the spotlight, overcome your fear of public speaking and the performing. Write down a very detailed step-by-step procedure to follow so that anyone could duplicate your foolproof method for creating such inner terror. Action steps. College essays that made a difference. Maria was editor-in-chief of a high school's award-winning literary magazine, a participant in the Alpha Kappa Alpha Partnership in Math and Science program, and the president for school's Amnesty International chapter. Multiple streams of income, how to generate a lifetime of unlimited wealth. Wit and wisdom. If a book about failure doesn't sell, is it a success? Key strategies for bridging the brain gap, a technology toolkit for digital immigrants, tips for managing techno-brain burnout. Talk about yourself. When conflicts begin, our first instinct is to blame the other person and focus on his or her faults. The art of aging. People are entitled, have a human right to live as long as they can. People have a duty to give people the opportunity to live as long as they wanted to. The resilience factor. 7 keys to finding your inner strengths and overcoming life's hurdles. When R and J fight, the goal almost immediately changes from wanting to voice a complaint and resolve a conflict to wanting to inflict harm and humiliate. Mojo. That's what the political pros and strategists mean when they praise their candidate for staying on message. Men, women, and the relationships, making peace with the opposite sex. She's afraid to ask for support because she imagines he will feel even worse and grumble more. The idea hunter, how to find the best ideas and make them happen. Can I imagine a set of circumstances in which I would not want to be associated with this idea? Wait, the staff will accommodate kids' request if nothing appeals from the fresher than fresh dim sum cut. Mindset, how we can learn to fulfill our potential. Relationship, she was open late at picking up the kids. Sometimes, however, excessive facial hair can be a sign of an underlying hormonal imbalance, such as in the condition known as polycystic ovary syndrome. Interview for Success, a practical guide to increasing job interviews, offers, and salaries. One way to carry both is to keep a slim purse with essentials such as lipstick, mirror, and money inside the attaché case. Buy the best you can afford. Willpower doesn't work. She then pulled Tony's body out from under the car. 10-minute toughness, the mental training program for winning before the game begins. Experiential rewards seem to be more helpful than material rewards in keeping me focused and motivated to achieve my goals. Effective executive compensation. Other universities had lost their key investment individual to the hedge fund industry. Foster Children's Encyclopedia. Lighten up. With this massive 1.5 meters long skull, the beast could swallow small dinosaurs whole. Coaching successfully. Be prepared to listen to your team every step of the way. How today's biggest trends will collide and reshape the future of everything. Putting fruit at eye level next to the cash register counts as a nudge. Why we love or hate everyday things. Today, it is customary to argue that shorter attention span are caused by advertisement, video games, the music videos, and so on. But in fact, the ready distractibility of attention is a biological necessity developed through millions of years of evolution as a protective mechanism against unexpected danger. This is the primary function of the visceral level. Fail fast, fail often. How losing can help you win. Similarly, the billionaire founder of the Virgin Group of 400 companies keep notebooks filled with question and observation. Trading in the zone. Master the market with competence, discipline, and winning attitudes. If the external environment can express itself in an infinite combination of ways, then there's really no limit to the number and the types of beliefs available to be acquired about the nature of existence, the impact of beliefs on trading. Success is a journey. 7 steps to achieving success in the business of life. On the following pages, I'm going to give you some time-saving tips, techniques, and strategies that will help you become more productive, get more things done, and maintain control over your day. And Andrew was still worried about the burden the heavy workload was placing on everyone, and he continued to have some nagging concern about the client's reputation. 15 secrets successful people know about time management. With that in mind, you might decide to mow and weed, but stop edging and planting seasonal flowers. Unless yard work is fun for you, of course. From stress to success in just 31 days. Now write your own affirmation in your journal or on a separate piece of paper. Starting a food truck business. It's a garage, so don't expect it to look like a hospital, but how organized and neat it is goes a long way. Toward foretelling the kind of service you'll receive from the mechanic. How to avoid a climate disaster. When you dig up the metal, it's almost always combined with oxygen and other elements, a mixture known as iron ore. What should I do with my life? If you are one of these adrenaline seekers who's convinced all you need from life is a series of oversized challenges, good for you. "100 ways to create the wealth." Think open hand. A man there was, and they called him mad. The more he gave, the more he had. No hidden motive. Protect yourself at college. You don't have to be at a football game. The good life. The children all respect Neil's mother, the interviewer wrote. Inspired Destiny, Chapter 16, How to Create One You Would Love. Somehow I can't believe that there are any heights that can't be scaled by a man who knows the secret of making dreams come true. Knowledge and the power. The most important human resource. The only true natural resource is the human mind. The mystery method. Similarly, if you are ready to touch your breast outside the shirt, You will gain compliance much more easily if instead of just grabbing her boob, you stroke your hand across it as part of a larger patting motion on a body, with your hand ending up somewhere else, like a waist. The slide to the edge. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step, but you have to start with a penny. Good economics for hard times. As a result, the sharp divergence between the rate of growth of capital and the labor force is not sustainable over the long haul, because if, say, capital grows faster than the labor force, then the economy will have too much capital relative to labor, which will slow down growth. So the lessons for loving. Advice from the wisest Americans on love, relationship, and marriage. When asked how to prevent a major blow-up, a surprising number of experts recommended offering your partner something to eat. Blow up. Mothers. And an example of jeans and a t-shirt that fitted well. A blazer that's too big. Notice the shoulder seams sagging off the side. Who killed the creativity? What's even more interesting is that it appears that highly creative people are able to utilize non-conscious processing of innovative ideas more than others, and this is what distinguishes them from the pack. Perfect practice for meeting. Our goal here isn't to consider our decision from every possible angle. The miracles of your mind. I told a woman one time not to give any more money to her son as he spent it all on drinks. I said, "You are only contributing to his delinquency." The worry solution. When you are surprised that you are just driven 150 miles, or that it's 3 o'clock in the morning, when you only intended to read for half an hour before going to sleep, you have been in a hypnotic state where time distortion is a common occurrence. Teaching by Principle, an interactive approach to language pedagogy. Chapter 14, Teaching Listening Comprehension. The importance of listening in language learning can hardly be overestimated. Through reception, we internalize linguistic information without which we could not produce language. The longevity paradox. As a heart surgeon, I have had plenty of opportunities to see firsthand how closely heart health is linked to the health and maintenance of every part of the body. The power is deepen your relationship, lifelong learning adventure. I'm a little embarrassed and compared to the New York Times. Speak like a CEO. Don't use this technique until you have already practiced without the meter, so you know the material reasonably well. Die broke. Home improvement, renovation, and the addition. The traditional view has been that home improvements and renovation were investment rather than purchase. The personality code. Dr. M wouldn't have wanted it any other way. He knew there was more work to be done in understanding personality, and he longed to see what would develop. Born for this. How to find the work you are meant to do. How to become a firefighter or whatever you want. Play the game that will increase your hours. Stop playing the numbers game and never send out another resume. Instead of betting the hours, play the game that improves your hours. I never had the eureka moment. I had the process of discovery that led me to something that paid well and provided the autonomy I craved. Eat this at the end of the leave. How to make simple food choices, feel better, look younger, live longer. Meanwhile, the denuded. White flour heads to the mainstream market to be made into white bread, buns, pastries, crackers, pasta, and so on. Pinpoint problem feelings, behaviors, and thinking in yourself and others. Attitudes 101. What every leader needs to know. The obstacle is the way. In fact, his experience gave him a uniquely playful relationship with his existence and a sense of clarity and euphoria that he carried with him from that point forward. The positive shift. This lower rate of mortality means that people who attend religious services more than weekly live to about age 83 compared to only about age 75 for those who never attend religious service. Spotlight on the USA. When it opened in 1941, Red Rocks filled with the sounds of opera and classical music. Change your brain, change your life. There was no getting around seeing my brain with holes in it. The Great Warming. His sequence revealed for widespread regional droughts between the 6th and the early 14th centuries AD, culminating in a major dry spell between 1,245, and 1,310. Get motivated based on an 8-year study of 10,000 people, creating positive solution. Different. The brand that make me sit up and pay attention are exactly these brands that are able to entice people out of their entrenched consumption patterns. Win and work at succeeded life. 5 principles to free yourself from the cult of overwork. For many of us, it's second nature to treat Saturday as a catch-up day, or Sunday as a jumpstart of the day. Ask and it is given. Learning to manifest your desire. The hidden value behind your emotional reaction. Chapter 9. Empty planet. The shock of global population decline. A few have doors. Marketing made simple. Your lead generator can be a PDF, a video series, a free sample, a live event, or anything you can give your potential customer that help them solve a problem. Secrets of a CEO coach. What was the biggest surprise you discovered? Success is a choice. Why? Because instead of succumbing to stress, they applied pressure to their company, and that pressure is bringing out the best in everyone from research to sales. Willpower doesn't work. Imagine that he had called his mother out and asked her to lift the car. Case interview secret. If you have a profit problem, we need to figure out if it's revenue or cost driven. If you are not first, you are last. You don't do things like sleep, watch TV, complain, take long lunches and dinners, gossip, read newspapers, worry, or waste time because you are lazy. Win. What has caused the personal automobile to change so quickly in such a short amount of time? Here comes everybody. Precise this imbalance of power made what happened the next time so remarkable. The success principle. Talent is cheaper than table salt. What separated a talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. It's all about building momentum. Just like that rocket, you will often find that the hardest part in getting the life you want is getting started. Once you get moving, however, your success builds on each other, creating even more success. Men are like the waffles, women are like the spaghetti. I gathered them onto my lap and rocked them as I prayed. God, I know this is not the abundant life you planned. The unwritten rules. Factor 5. Working across organizational boundaries. Chapter 7. Where the leadership teams are usually characterized by some degree of internal tension arising from two main sources, the leader's personal ambition and the competing objectives of different groups that in most organizations lead to the friction between executives. Rejection proof. No, I'm really not. I'm pursuing a firefighting career, Jordan replied. How to build self-discipline. Chapter 5. 5 practical ways to train your discipline. You can also introduce more discipline in your life if you make an effort to train yourself to control your urges and emotions. Reader, come home with all the sense of rightness for just cause that the school emboldened. Ben and his buddies organized a petition against the sexist unfairness of the fourth grade teacher toward boys and the unjust treatment they received over their homework. The art of aging. You have not written of this aspect of death. The silo effect. The board members were stunned. Pause. Harnessing your life-changing power of giving yourself a break. In the words of its creator, Passion Planner helps people break down their long and short-term goals into more actionable steps and give them a place to incorporate these steps into their daily lives. Facebook ads are cheap. Well, undoubtedly, when it comes to marketing, the budget is a major constraint. Learn like the pro. Why are some contestants so surprised? How successful people lead, taking your influence to the next level. However, if you desire to go to higher levels of leadership, you simply have to produce. There is no other way around it. Extraordinary results begin with one small change. If you will spend an extra hour each day of study in your chosen field, you will be a national expert in that field in 5 years or less. The soulmate of the experience. Suppose, for example, that it's very important to maintain a close sexual connection with his girlfriend. Rejected. Yeah, it ruffled some feathers. It ruffled some feathers, sure, but the name Wolfpack Crunch really captured what I was feeling at the time. Peyote-fueled rage. keep calm for ladies. The willingness to accept responsibility for one's own life is the source from which self-respect springs. Don't sweat the small stuff for teens. An 18-year-old guy recently shared with me that his decision to spend less time with what he called the energy drainers was the single most positive decision he had made in years. Life per the span. Of course, that keeps the human population in check, but not by much. Some habits of highly effective teens. Share a personal problem with an adult you trust. Keep hopes alive. Keep your more mountains. Talk Incorporated. Relinquishing control. The flip side of allowing employees to generate organizational content is accepting a certain loss of control over the message that go out under corporate auspices or through corporate channel. No rules. Netflix and the culture of reinvention. As a leader, solicit feedback frequently and respond with belonging cues when you receive it. Create your own future. Self-discipline is the iron quality of character. It is the foundation stone of integrity and courage. Your level of self-discipline has a major impact on what you accomplish in every area of endeavor. Self-discipline is the key to character. Stepping up. This happened for me recently when I was working on a previous book, a book that had grown out of a personal crisis. The truth about the leadership. You can't let the setbacks get you down or the roadblocks get in your way. Masterful Coaching. The journey to masterful coaching. Part 2 begins with the goal of becoming a masterful coach and focus on who you need to be and what you need to do to reach it. How to win friends and influence people for girls. The secret to being popular and competent. Are your apologies sincere? The Venus brain. Memory. Remembering to have a Venus brain. Getting things done. The art of stress-free productivity. How you list a project and sub-project is up to you. Just be sure you know where to find all the moving parts and review them as frequently as needed to keep them off your mind. The storyteller's secret. And they watched it for a few minutes, and he turned to her mother and said, Mrs. L. G isn't sick. She's a dancer. Take her to a dance at the school. While Mars and Venus collide. Share a picture album with friends. The power of your subconscious mind. Unlock your master key to success. Wonders will happen as you pray this way. If you are writing a novel, play, or book, or are working on an invention, speak to your subconscious mind at night and claim boldly that its wisdom, intelligence, and power are guiding, directing, and revealing to you the ideal play, novel, book, or revealing the perfect solution, whatever it may be. Going solo, together alone. The event was so successful that they decided to organize a follow-up. And what could be better than gathering to watch the ongoing exploit of that fabulous foursome. The meritocracy trap. Income across regions converged steadily between the end of the Second World War and the end of the 1970s, and this convergence accounts for perhaps 30% of the overall reduction in wage inequality that the country experienced over those years. Rich habits, emotions such as anger, happiness, love, hatred, jealousy, and envy are placed on a very long leash, perhaps reeled in momentarily, when their most important relationships are placed in jeopardy. While men want sex and women need the love. Miss number 5, you will get it right second time around. Those who decided to pair up permanently with their pairs often make the decision to get it right at this time. Football for dummies. Tackle football basic and enjoy America's favorite sport. The armchair quarterback and other fabulous fans in this chapter, understanding football jargons. The high five habit. But do you like me if I don't own that band of jeans, sneakers, or handbag? I'll just feel so lame. Just another layer of foundation and a bit more bronzer, and then I look like my friends. Lame. Brainstorm, unleashing your creative self. For example, no writer has been more associated with a community than Charles Dickens, with his haunting literary treatments of foggy rivers, debtors, prison, taverns, and coaching in yards, all vivid recreation of the thought and the sound of Dixonian London. Emotional intelligence, why it can matter more than IQ, windows of opportunity. 101 U.S. history, 1865 through the 20th century. Roosevelt drew much of his inspiration for the New Deal from the writings of British economist John Maynard Keynes, who believed that government deficit spending could prime the economic pump and jumpstart the economy. Whenever you find that you are on the side of the majority, it is time to reform. Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking together in the same direction. What's next? What's next? You have to trust the coach and feel comfortable laying it all before him or her. Tough times, tough people. When I think of coping, I think of band-aids. Leadership in turbulent times. A country that is worth living in time of peace is worth fighting for in time of war. So I am yet willing to put up with the hardships of a soldier's life. The best advice I ever got, lessons from extraordinary lives. Later, when I was 9, I took my mother's eyebrow pencil and carefully drew lines all over my face, replicating the wrinkles that I had memorized on the face of my grandmother, whom I adored. The unexpected legacy of the both. The 25-year landmark study. Their houses are too far apart. I wish they would get together. Why people fail. The 16 obstacles to success and how you can overcome them. No daily rituals. When I walk into my local gym, I see a huge poster with some of the widest words ever written. Inspiration gets you started. Habit keeps you going. The age of surveillance capitalism. What has been forgotten here is that the common rule was the product of a similar challenge to principles of individual autonomy and democratic fidelity. Overcoming addiction, the spiritual solution. This is a basic element in the psychology of drug use. Don't fire them up. Motivate yourself and your team. Yeah, I take the requirement very seriously and come down hard on anyone who is slapdash about his or her proposal. Slapdash. Principles. We had built this team up over many years, and it was full of hard-working, close-knit employees who were part of our extended family. Certain things mentally strong parents don't do. Every parent tries to change a child's emotional state at one time or another, but doing so too often could be harmful. Sleep Smarter, 21 Essential Strategies to Sleep Your Way to a Better Body, Better Health, and Bigger Success. Or use more of your senses by turning on some good music and opening the curtains to let in the natural light. High performance habit, how extraordinary people become that way. To become more productive, become more competent. You have to master the primary skills needed to win in your primary field of interest. Practice the 3. Get insanely good at key skills. I believe the true road to preeminent success in any line is to make yourself master in that line. What I learned on the way to the top. As he visited, he noticed the fish and 7 pin I was wearing. You can no more do God's work without God than you could have sunshine without the sun. Spotlight on the USA. These formations have been sculpted by the wind. Business is people, but someone else who has trained his subordinate to do his own job will fill the vacancy. Teaching in the secondary school, they may refuse to play the game entirely. Places to know in the USA. There were other important industries on the Great Lakes. Happiness is an inside job. Maybe it was my view of my friends looking happy that assured my ego of its reward. The business and practice of coaching, finding your niche, making money, and attracting ideal clients. Become seaworthy. Seaworthy? When sailing in rough waters, our friends the sailors check that gear is simple and uncluttered on board. Net positive. How courageous companies thrive by giving more than they take. We have an innovator's dilemma. Madam Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi declared herself the front runner, but the campaign's internal polling showed that Harry Britt started with the lead. "50 high-impact speeches and remarks, proven words you can adapt for any business occasion, but leaders of large organizations rarely have that luxury." Life strategies for teens. If you feel you have gained peer approval, you feel successful. The story of you, an Enneagram journey to becoming your true self. Awaken, counting the cost. changing their story means recognizing that they still have choices that can redirect their old story.